Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something really important: bipolar disorder. And the reason we're diving in is because getting it is the first step to being a better friend, a better ally, and maybe even understanding ourselves a little more. So, let's get into it.
So, we all have good days and bad days, right? You ace a test, you feel amazing. You have a fight with a friend, you feel awful. But what if those shifts were bigger, more extreme? That's really the question we're asking today. Because bipolar disorder isn't about everyday ups and downs, it's something way more intense.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the basics. What even is bipolar disorder? Then we'll zoom in on what those mood episodes are really like. After that, we'll get into the causes and different types, talk about treatment, and we'll wrap up with the most important part: how you can actually help.
All right, first things first. Let's start with a clear definition. What are we actually talking about when we say bipolar disorder?
So, at its heart, bipolar disorder is a medical condition. It causes these huge, dramatic shifts in someone's mood, their energy, and just their ability to function day to day. And these aren't just mood swings, they're distinct periods of time called episodes. We generally talk about two main types: manic episodes, which are the extreme highs, and depressive episodes, the extreme lows.
So, what does that actually feel like? What's it like to be on that kind of emotional roller coaster? Let's take a closer look at those two extremes, the manic highs and the depressive lows.
First up, let's talk about a manic episode. I want you to imagine your energy level is like a speaker, and someone has cranked the volume all the way up to max and broken the knob off. It's not just feeling happy or productive, it's this intense, often overwhelming state of high energy that can feel completely out of your control. Someone in a manic episode might feel totally wired, like they could stay up for days and not even feel tired. Their mind can be going so fast, with thoughts racing, that they talk a mile a minute just to keep up. This can also come with this feeling of being unstoppable, like you're on top of the world, which can lead to taking big risks without thinking through the consequences.
And then, the pendulum swings, all the way to the other side. A depressive episode. And this is so much more than just feeling sad. It's like all the energy has been drained out of you, and all the color has been washed out of the world.
In this state, everything is the opposite. Instead of tons of energy, there's this deep, heavy fatigue. Just trying to focus on homework can feel impossible. And those things you used to love, video games, hanging with friends, sports, suddenly feel totally pointless. Honestly, sometimes just getting out of bed can feel like climbing Mount Everest.
And when you see them side by side like this, wow, the difference is just staggering. From super high energy to zero energy. From racing thoughts to slow, difficult thinking. You can see it's not a gentle wave, it's a massive shift from one pole to the other. That's the swing we're talking about.
Okay, so that obviously leads to the question, right? Why does this happen? Let's get into our next section and explore some of the science behind the why, the causes, and the different types of the condition.
The truth is, there's no single button that gets pushed. It's way more like a complex puzzle. Genetics is a big piece. It can definitely run in families. Brain chemistry, the signals firing in your brain, is another huge piece. And then things in our environment, like a really stressful event or disrupted sleep, can sometimes be the final pieces that trigger an episode.
And this brings us to what might be the single most important thing to remember from this whole conversation. Bipolar disorder is never, ever, ever someone's fault. It's a medical condition, just like diabetes or asthma. It's not a character flaw. It's not a weakness. It's an illness, period.
And it's also not a one-size-fits-all diagnosis. The two most common types you'll hear about are bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. The main difference really comes down to the intensity of the highs. Bipolar 1 involves those full manic episodes we talked about. Bipolar 2 has something called hypomania, which is a bit milder. But here's the key. Both types almost always include episodes of major depression.
All right, now for the part that's full of hope. And honestly, the most important part. Bipolar disorder is absolutely treatable. There's a very clear path forward for people to manage the condition and live a really full, healthy, and amazing life.
So the best path forward is usually a combination of things. It's a team effort. Therapy like CBT is huge for learning coping skills. Medication, like mood stabilizers, can be a game changer for balancing out brain chemistry. And all of that is built on a foundation of healthy routines, like consistent sleep and stress management, and of course, a strong support system of friends and family.
Consistency is everything.
And that brings us to our final section, which is really all about you. If you have a friend, a classmate, or someone in your family who is living with bipolar disorder, how can you be a good supportive ally for them?
Well, it really all starts with understanding. Be patient. Remember, these moods are part of an illness, not a choice. Just listen, without trying to fix everything or pass judgment. And this is a huge one. Please, let's stop using bipolar as a casual insult for when the weather changes or someone is being unpredictable. That kind of language just creates more stigma. Instead, encourage a friend to talk to an adult they trust, and just keep reminding them that they're not alone in this.
And that leads to a really powerful truth that applies to all of us. No matter what you're going through, asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's actually one of the bravest and strongest things you can possibly do. So I want to leave you with a question to think about. How can we, all of us, start to replace stigma with support? What's one small thing you can do, maybe even today, to make your school or your community a more understanding place? Your actions really do matter. Thanks so much for listening. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.